Coach Bailiff is upset. You got to make that catch. You got a senior. Ball was thrown on time, albeit a little hard. But McHargue knew he had pressure coming. He knew he couldn't pick up that blitz to the weak side. So he got it out in a hurry, and Kitchens couldn't make the catch.
2nd and 10. The receiver screen, that was way high.
Boy, that's the second
for
time.
McDonald.
There's a flag coming down from deep in the backfield, but the defensive backfield. But that's the second time on that throw the ball's completely gotten away from McHargue.
An illegal low block by number 81 in the offense. 15-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Second time we've seen that call tonight.
Well, because the ball, if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, if you're working back towards a defensive back, you cannot block below the waist. They've tweaked that rule a little bit this year. There used to be this really complicated rule about where the person was lined up, and now they've kind of gotten rid of that. If anybody 7 yards or more away from the line of scrimmage goes and blocks someone back towards where the ball was set, it's an illegal block.
2nd and long, 25 to go. On the handoff, this is Smith. And a big hit coming up from the corner. And a flag down. Diggs making the stop. Forcing Smith out of bounds. A gain of 6 on the play and another flag.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask by number 91
Wow.
of the defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And that is also another rule where a personal foul on the defense is not a yardage for first down. It's an automatic first down because that 15 yards would not have been enough for the first. A huge break for Rice and a big mistake by one of your inside guys, Keaston Randall, a senior.
Hey, 2:53 to go here in the first half, and a big chunk of yardage on the penalty all the way out to the 46 near midfield. Rice, remember, burned those 2 timeouts almost back-to-back earlier this quarter. McHargue out of the shotgun. And incomplete. Not sure who he wanted to hit on that. Kitchens was there. McDonald was kind of there, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, and right now, Manny Diaz is showing why a lot of coaches in the SEC, when Mack Brown called around and asked about him, said, hey, could you get him out of our league? Because right now, he's in McHargue's head. He's shown him about 5 different blitzes on this series alone, and McHargue looks shaken and stirred.
2nd and 10. Handed off right up the middle, and a great gain by Smith. And Smith with a first down into Texas territory. With about 2:33 to go now in the half.
Well, McHargue barely gets this handoff. Really nice blocking that time up the middle. That was 52 Keyshawn Carrington, but nice move at the end there on Blake Gideon.
A jailbreak screen complete to number 88 McDonald, this time catching it.
Well, that's a load to bring down a receiver. And
6'5", 260.
he brought a little anger to that run.
He was voted Rice's top wide receiver a season ago.
And now Rice, I think Rice should start going fast. Look how tired the front four is for Texas. Don't go slow. Call the play, run. Call the play and run. Don't do this. Don't give him time to breathe.
Hand it off again. Down to the 31-yard line is Tyler Smith, brought down by Acho.
And if I'm Texas, I've got to start thinking about using one of those 3 timeouts. Your offense, you're going to burn all of this, and your offense is not going to have a chance.
Just to get a breather?
Absolutely. Get a breather. Save some time for your offense. But now they just seem like they're okay letting the clock run.
Rice with 1 timeout remaining. Incomplete. And it's 4th down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, and I think you're right at the edge of, they like their kicker. They think Boswell can go as long as 55. Here'd be my concern here, though, is big pressure moment. A lot of times on a long kick, a kicker will drive the ball. So if you get any push if you're Texas, but
this one's going to be about 49, Ed.
I think Rice missed an opportunity there. They had Texas tired and they didn't speed up.
49 yards out. Chris Boswell made one earlier from 42. And he may have hooked this one in, and he does, with a little bit of room to spare. So Rice within a touchdown now of the Longhorns with just under a minute to go in the first half. How big is that field goal for them?
Huge. Their entire sideline erupted when he made that.
Rice lost this game 34-17 a year ago to Texas, and they liked that one on the Owls sideline. Over 101,000 strong here in Austin. And right now, a look at our LonghornNetwork.com poll question. Who will be the Longhorns' leading rusher tonight? Log on to LonghornNetwork.com to cast your vote.
Now, Malcolm Brown, the highly touted running back from right here in the state of Texas, true freshman, has not played yet. I'm talking to the coaches. They said, we still think he's got everything we expected: size, speed, ability to move. But like all freshmen, especially at that position, because of pass protection, you know, they're going to get a quarterback hurt if they go the wrong way. We saw what happened to Bergeron when Porras came on that blitz. So you're just always worried about that. And you have to bring those guys along fairly slowly sometimes.
Got to get to an other category in there for
DJ
Ed Cunningham's write-in vote. DJ Monroe.
He's pretty good wheels on that reverse down the goal line.
A line drive kick into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. You know, Ed, we were talking during the commercial break that there was so much anticipation about this year's version of the Longhorns team, that this was a team shrouded in secrecy, not a tremendous amount of access to the general local media at large. You think the fans might be thinking right now, geez, I'm a little underwhelmed by what I'm seeing.
I don't think there's any doubt. But I also think, Mark, they probably didn't know how good Rice was either. But at the same time, I think you're absolutely right. I think these fans are thinking, wow, you know, this should be 27-3, not 13-6. But, you know, I went to Rice this week. I sat and watched them practice and got to be around their guys. You know, I know they're picked lower half of the West in the Conference USA. They're just a better team than that.
On 1st and 10. Gilbert completes it. Whitaker on the move. Out of bounds with a first down with 49 seconds to go. They have 3 timeouts remaining, a pickup of 15.
And to me, this is where you start to learn about a quarterback and how much they have grown, is in this drill. Because of the ability in college football to stop the clock with first downs and out of bounds, there's actually, I think, some more thinking for a college quarterback sometimes to know, you know, I can't, if I make that throw, we're going to cross first down, we'll stop the clock. There's other ways to do it. So I think it's a really good measure of how far Garrett Gilbert has come from 2010.
Gilbert, they tried to set up the receiver screen. There was nothing happening there. Just a bunch of linen down on the field at the 36-yard line. Jackson Shipley.
That will be one. That will be one where Brian Harsin in film says throw that one in the dirt. There's just no reason to throw that ball into that much traffic. Plus, you're throwing a ball into traffic where when he gets tackled, the clock's going to keep going. Now, we've got 3 timeouts, so we'd probably just burn one right there, but that'll be a good teaching moment when they get into the film study.
An illegal shift by the offense. 2 players were moving and did not reset. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
You know, Mark, second time that's been called. And you've got to remember, this offense is so complex with so many moves, so many shifts. Not surprised that we've seen 2 illegal shifts here in the first half.
There's a look at Lowell Galindo and Priest Holmes. Joe Harrington coming up at halftime. That pass complete. Forward progress going to be marked up around the 40-yard line. John Harris with his first reception of the night with 31 seconds to go. And a full complement of 3 timeouts remaining as they burn one right here. I'm not trying to be facetious or disrespectful in any way, but for Mack Brown, how much of it is a win that Garrett Gilbert hasn't thrown an interception here in the first half after throwing 17 last year?
Well, you know, you go back to last year, such a different offense, and frankly, they're not asking much of Garrett Gilbert right now in this game, which I think is very smart. I just don't think there's any reason that first game out, all new offense, a guy whose confidence was jarred last year. I don't think they should ask much of him, but eventually I want to start seeing he's got a good arm. He can move around a little bit. Let's start seeing some more diverse offense. But, you know, I'm intrigued the fact they played David Ash so early. He's a young man that, from all reports, very confident, has control, has all of the ability, physical guy. So maybe they're starting to try to get that guy ready because they see something special in him.
2nd and 5 here. Gilbert on the move, under heat, and tackled from behind. Tremendous effort by number 35 on the play. A great bit of pursuit. And that is Scott Solomon, who is wearing Travis Bradshaw's number 35 in honor to a friend of his who had a broken neck in training camp and is unable to play for the rest of the season.
And Solomon deciding to wear 35 to dedicate the season to his fellow senior Bradshaw. But that was nice effort. Lined up at the left defensive end spot. And Solomon, we met with him yesterday. This is a well put together young man. He lost about 15 pounds. He's playing some defensive tackle last year right before he got hurt. Got hurt the Wednesday, the last tough practice before the Texas game last year. Was going to be his senior year. Got into the weight room, and everyone on this team talks about how Scott Solomon set the tone from January, February, March right into camp.
And that broken right foot all good, as witnessed by that last play. 3rd and 5 for Gilbert. Completes it underneath, but short of the first down. Cody Johnson made the catch.
Yeah. Now you've got to punt it away. That's a bad throw. That's a bad throw. Either pull it and run, or you throw it underneath to a 250-pound fullback before the sticks who's covered. When you had a decent pocket, there wasn't a whole lot of pressure there.
That's the end of the first half of play. The jury's still out on the Longhorns after the first 30 minutes here in game 1. And David Bailiff's team, if you told them that they would be only down 7 at the break, you'd probably think they would take it going into the locker room. And Samantha standing by downstairs with Coach Brown.
Coach, we can speculate, but we don't hear the play call. How do you assess your offense's performance?
Well, you'd rather have more than 13 points, but we got a lead here. We needed to score in the red zone down there. We haven't had the ball a lot. Rice has done a good job of hitting the little run here and there and the short pass, and they've kept the ball more than we have. So when we get it, we got to score with it.
Can you talk to me about the plan with quarterback? Did you know David Ash was going to go in, or was that a last-second thing?
No, we knew that.
All right, I'll let you get in there. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so quarterbacks seemingly the center of discussion still for the Longhorns. Bevo digging it. His team up at the break. On the field since 2010 Thanksgiving, and been a long wait for these fans here. Anxious times, and they lead Rice by 7, 13-6 at the break. Mark Jones chopping it up with Ed Cunningham. Samantha Steele down in the field. The jury seems to be out on the first half. A lot of these fans expected to see, you get the feeling, a lot of fireworks, and they're still waiting patiently.
I think we've got to remember that this is a first game for both teams. You know, we had the muff punt for Rice, which led to the only touchdown for Texas. So let's give these teams a little bit of a break with Texas with a entire new offense, entire new defense. But, you know, when we were meeting with Mac the other day, he said, I feel like we're underrated. Last year we were probably overrated. This year I think we're underrated. And he said, I don't think Rice thinks we're as good as we are. But I'm starting to think that maybe Texas didn't know how good Rice was. Other than the Mike Davis throw, the long throw, how many Texas receivers have you seen open? Not many. So I think Rice has come in with a good plan. They've got a veteran team, but I think they've got to get more aggressive offensively. You know, that one drive there, they looked a little confused. McHarg looked like he was in his head a little bit. They ran a lot of little inside traps. They've got to let it go here in the second half if they want to win. And for Texas, settle down. It's game 1.
Let's take a look at the first half statistics brought to you by Taco Cabana. Total yards.